Hi, everybody. Good evening. It's Pat at Dancing Moon Travel, and so happy to welcome you to Let's Talk Travel. And so excited about our guest that we have with us this week. And one of my personal favorites, not one of my personal favorites, my personal favorite cruise line company, Holland America. Ashley Vaughan is with us. Welcome, Ashley.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are.
Well, good evening. Yes. Yeah. And Ashley, you know that Holland, whoops, tip of the finger there. You know that Holland is actually my favorite personal. When I cruise, I love to cruise with Holland America. You don't hear me say that about anybody else because it's the fact. It really is the truth. Uh, Ashley, let's start off just by letting people get acquainted a little bit with you if they haven't seen you on with us previously. How did you get into the travel business and make your way to Holland America?
It was all an accident. I graduated college. I went to school here at UCF in Orlando, and I have a communications degree. I was looking for a job after work or after school, and I found this job for a cruise booking agent at a travel agency. And I was like, well, that sounds cool. I'll try that. And of course, I did not get hired because I had zero experience booking cruises, but they were starting a marketing department. And so I started working for a local agency in their marketing team. And eventually I switched over to become a supplier business development manager with a company that focused on land travel for a long time, about 10 years. And I joined Holland at the very fortuitous time at the beginning of 2020. And so I switched from land to cruise. And Holland America line is a brand that I was really excited to get a chance to work for because one of the things I loved most about the land position that I had was just the ability to connect with people locally in the destinations that you visit and some of the kind of off the beaten path places that the land trips could take you. And Holland America line definitely reflects that on the cruise side. So there's even more access that was provided. And I'm with you, Pat. I don't just say this because I work here. If I have a choice to spend my vacation dollar on something, it's going to be a Holland America Line cruise because of the food, the entertainment, the places that we go, the experiences that you can have. I don't think there's a better vacation experience out there.
I just love it. I mean, it's relaxed, but there's an elegance underneath, and the
Mhm.
food and your itineraries. I mean, it's just a whole package. I love it. Anybody looking for a more traditional type cruise experience, you cannot go wrong with Holland America. And actually, I so miss cruising, and I know that we have a lot of friends here at Dancing Moon Travel who feel the same way. I talk to them every week, and let's just why don't we just start with the elephant in the room? Is that you're an industry insider? Is there any idea at all about when we might get back to cruising? When we might be able to indulge in that favorite pastime?
I know. I see so many posts from people saying the same thing, Pat, that, we're just dying to get back to the seas again. And the good news is, I think there's a Winston Churchill quote that says, this isn't the end, it's not the beginning, it's the beginning of the end. And I think that's very much where we are right now. There are, things that are happening within the industry that are helping us move forward in the process, which I think is very encouraging. There's a lot more regulation, there's a lot more oversight now before we get back to cruising. It's not just as easy as snapping our fingers, putting a ship in the water and getting sailing. But the good news is we're already on that journey. So I think you're going to start to see ships coming back sooner than you probably expect. And it's not necessarily going to be for every cruise line, every departure. I think you're going to start to see the Caribbean and Bahamas, these places come online first. And the cruise lines that specialize in those areas obviously will start that process. And then you'll see brands like us at Holland America Line coming a little bit later because we do have some of the more longer, the more involved itineraries, some of the itineraries that go into some unique places that might have more regulation. So it's going to be a slow process, but I think we've seen the process start, which is very, very encouraging.
Well, I like that we this is the beginning of the end. So we're
Mhm.
progress. We are seeing progress, and as we see those vaccines rolling out, and in the life cycle of the pandemic sort of starting to taper off a little bit, hope springs.
Yes.
Uh, yeah. What about Alaska? I know that Canada threw us a curve, and we're kind of in the thing. Do you think is the entire Alaska season going to be a bust, or do you have any information about that status?
So we don't have too much information that we can share at this point. As you know, we have had to unfortunately cancel our sailings from Vancouver for the entire season. We went ahead and did that. We don't expect the Yukon to operate this year, obviously, as being part of Canada. And we're still holding out hope that the round trip Seattle sailings will be able to operate. And I know we have very, very smart, well-paid people that are looking into all those opportunities to make that happen. And we have some other exciting things that we'll talk about a little bit later that we're going to do for Alaska. So we're really hoping that we're able to offer something for this summer to Alaska, because it is a very, very important destination to us at Holland. I mean, we put 70% of our fleet there in the summer, and we own many of the resorts that we stay at. We own a lot of the infrastructure within Alaska. We have a lot of partnerships and a lot of communities that we support with our travels there and taking you and everyone to Alaska. So we want to be able to be that goodwill partner and continue to do that in some form or fashion this year.
Well, good. I know there are several things in the works that the cruise lines are working hard to try to, if just a couple of things could get bypassed, that Seattle season could happen. So fingers crossed. Folks, we never tell you to book last minute, but there could be some opportunities this summer. So do stay tuned and stay in touch on that. Um, also, Ashley, this is a good time to tell people, with all of this down for so much of the past 2 whole years, people, if you plan to book if you're looking at Alaska for 2022, Ashley, how soon should they book?
They should have booked a month ago. 2022 is off the charts because, as you said, you've now had 2 seasons that have been canceled, and people, probably some of you all out there, have had an Alaska cruise tour, an Alaska cruise that was booked for 2020 that got moved to 21, and now it's been moved to 22. And then we have this pent up demand from everybody else who's like, I just got to get out of here. And they're ready to go as well. And so we're seeing Alaska 2022 is just flying off the shelves, along with a lot of our other destinations as well. So remember, there's going to be probably reduced capacity in general. We're not going to have the whole fleet sailing as we would normally would have. And now you've got 2 years of pent up demand. So if you want to go to Alaska, like I said, get in your time machine, go back and book it a month ago, or at least call Pat now, because
Exactly. We just booked another land tour, a cruise package, cruise tour last week. So there is space available still, folks. But
Mhm.
if you wait until next spring and think you're going to book Alaska, it's not going to happen for you. So just a word to the wise, it's on you to act, and we're happy to help you with that. Ashley, you have something going on this summer that's kind of unusual. Tell us about this. Just came out too, about these land tours that you guys are offering as an alternative.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we're looking for ways that we can continue to support, the people that we keep employed in Alaska and the communities that we visit. And so we're doing something really unusual, and we're going to offer land packages only for Alaska this summer, because obviously our cruises from Canada are impacted, but we can still operate our beautiful McKinley Chalet Resort, which is right at the entrance of Denali National Park. And so, in partnership with our sister company, Gray Line Alaska, who operates all of our Alaska pieces and bits and bolts, if you will, on our land and sea journeys. They've put together 2 escorted programs and a few hosted programs where you can go in and do a combination of Anchorage, Fairbanks, Denali, and even Kenai Peninsula. So there's a couple of different options depending on what you want to see. They're going to be using our Princess and Holland America line lodges, which are usually only for our cruise tour land and sea journey guests. So you're going to get the opportunity to stay in these fantastic properties. You'll get some of the great sightseeing of Alaska where you're including some glacier access. You'll get the Porterage cruise, which is a glacier experience. The Tundra Wilderness Tour in Denali will be available. And we'll also have the Riverboat Discovery experience included. So depending on which package you choose, whether you're going to do Kenai or not, kind of depends on what inclusions are in that. And then, of course, the train. Got to have the train experience. So we'll be partnering with Alaska Railroad's Gold Star line to offer the train service from Anchorage out to Denali. So it's going to be a great opportunity if you can't wait for 2022 and you just got to get to Alaska. This is going to be one of the best ways to do it. And what I would suggest is look at doing the land portion this year and then plan your cruise for next year. So
Absolutely.
the best of both worlds, because they are very different experiences.
Yes, and for those people who may have done the cruise only previously, this would be a great opportunity for you to do something that's not normally available. You can't normally do this, but where times are anything but normal, aren't they?
Right.
Yeah, actually, before we move on and start to look at, and see some of the things about Alaska and your product up there, I'm going to insert this little video clip here real fast to just kind of whet people's appetite. Hang on a second.
There's something cleansing about being in nature, being in a place that is on such a massive scale. There's a reset button.
Alaska has a rich history. People came here from all over the world. That sense of adventure, not knowing really what they were going to find.
My favorite part is seeing it through the guest eyes, watching them just light up.
It gets you excited again. It makes you realize, oh, hey, this is why I'm doing this.
It's our modern day gold rush.
Being with Holland America Line creates this connection with my guest.
They really are experts in travel.
You feel like you're a part of Alaska. It's just a different feeling here than anywhere else.
By land,
by sea,
by experts.
We are Alaska.
So, folks, it's something for everybody in Alaska. This is what I tell people all the time. No matter what you're interested in, you are not going to come back from an Alaska trip disappointed on any level. It is just a fabulous thing. And Ashley, we always encourage our clients and encourage them to do the land tour and not just limit themselves to doing the coast, because there's so much to see. And in my opinion, nobody does the land portion as well as Hal. It's just, I mean, in case anybody's wondering, that video should have told you why you need to include that land tour in your Alaska cruise vacation. Let's just start off, Ashley, just with about your itineraries, because apart from everything else, I think this is a big part of what sets Holland America apart from everybody else on is the land tours. Let's look at this one first here. This, I think, is a fabulous itinerary. There are several little tweaks that you can do with this, but for somebody who's first time, maybe only time to Alaska, this is a great way to do it.
It really is. You know, we have a little kitschy thing that we do. So if you hold up your hand, your thumb would equal what cruising the Inside Passage would be like, and that's that section from Vancouver to Ketchikan. And then if you look at the palm, that's the rest of Alaska. So the cruise gives you a really unique opportunity to relax, to enjoy all the hospitality that comes with a Holland America Line experience, to get prepared for your land vacation if you're doing the land after, or if you're doing land first to kind of relax from all your adventures. So the cruise experience is very different than what you're going to do on land. And combining the two together gives you the best of all worlds for sure. And so if you don't have the opportunity to go to Alaska this year and next year, and you want to do everything in that one trip, the land sea journeys are the best way to do it. And I too love the package that you picked to showcase, Pat, because we have 9 different options of combinations when it comes to the land and sea journeys, depending on how much time you want to spend on land, which cruise options you want to combine it with. So there's a lot of different ways to kind of customize based upon your budget, your time, your needs, what you want to experience to come up with the exact package that you're looking for.
Yeah. And I love that your packages are just tend to be, most of them include things like that riverboat discovery, what are some of the other experiences? Oh, the Denali Wilderness Tour.
Mhm.
That's not to be missed, folks. And the rail. Oh my goodness, the rail.
The rail is awesome. And I will say with Denali, if you're looking at the different options, our Denali programs run from 1 night in Denali to 3 nights in Denali. And I would highly recommend doing a minimum of 2 nights and maybe even 3. And the reason being, the Tundra Wilderness Tour is included on every single one of our Denali packages of 2 nights or longer. But Mount Denali itself is so tall, it creates its own climate system. And so when you're going into Denali National Park, if you're not on the Tundra Wilderness trip, you're only getting about 15 miles of access into the park. The Tundra Wilderness Tour takes you 60 miles into the park with the best viewing of Mount Denali. And the reason we say do it multiple days is because with that weather system that it creates, the day you go may be cloudy or the morning you go may be cloudy, but in the afternoon it might be cleared up. And so if you spend at least 2 nights there or longer, it's going to give you plenty of opportunities to get out there and get that perfect picture of Mount Denali.
Right. And there's always something going on at your lodges too. It's just a great place to hang out. They're beautiful, beautiful lodges and
as you know, Pat, the Holland America Line experience is all about great food, great entertainment, and exploring destinations. And so we don't want that to stop just because you're not on our ships. So the entertainment center at Denali Square, which is where all those great pictures are from, is awesome because we take that live music from on the ship and we kind of bring it in a more local flavor to McKinley Chalet Resort. My favorite area are the fire pits. I love getting around the fire pits and having one of the local brews that we make there and just kind of connecting with everybody from the day and figuring out what everybody did and saw. That's one of my highlights for sure.
It seems like when you're up there, you just never meet a stranger. Everybody's excited. Everybody's just wanting to share about their experience when they went to the, I don't know, the dog kennels maybe they went to, and somebody else did the jet boat, and so they're all talking about their experiences, and of course you can't talk about the interior without talking about that train ride.
The train is awesome. You have to get from Anchorage to Denali, and it is quite a distance. And so we can either do it on a boat, which is fine, or we can do it in this beautiful glass dome train that is relaxing. It kind of reminds you of the golden age of rail travel. There is food options on board. There's nothing better than sipping champagne and just watching out the window and looking to see the wild animals that you come across. And it's just a very relaxing way to get out to Denali National Park.
It is. I mean, this is something, folks. It's not just transportation. This is an experience, and when you do that Alaska Rail, it's something you're going to remember and talk about for the rest of your life. I guarantee you, it is not just a method of transportation to get you from point A to point B. And actually, here's another itinerary that I really love for those people who maybe did the cruise experience, that 7-night cruise maybe, but failed to book the tour option. Folks, it's not too late. You can still go back and get that experience. And I love these. You have a couple of little different options that you could tweak, but this is kind of an overview.
Yeah, this is a great one of our Yukon programs. And actually, the Yukon programs are our highest rated experiences at Holland America Line. And I think it's because you're combining, again, all the best parts of a Holland America Line cruise with our amazing Alaska experience. And then you take that a step further and you're going into an area of Canada that is really unspoiled and untouched. So when you get out into the Yukon territory, the biggest city is Dawson City. And when we say big city, I mean, it's a tiny little town, right? And the opportunities to understand why people live there. You know, you don't see people for miles and miles. It is untouched wilderness, and there's serenity and there's peace in that. If you love nature, it's great. It's kind of been compared to the Patagonia of North America. So there's so many interesting ways to experience the Yukon, but I think what's cool is that you get to, you know, see these people that live there year round. And I mean, they have to get from place to place by boat, by very unique modes of transportation. And to your point, you know, we're always including those extra experiences to make sure that your vacation is really a whole experience within the destination. So in the Yukon, you also get to do a riverboat cruise, which is really cool. And they tell you about all the people that live on the other side of the river. You're going to get to do like some dining experiences in the Yukon. But I think the highlight for most people is definitely gold mining, finding out about gold mining, being able to pan for your own gold. That's kind of cool. And then I think the other highlight is the White Pass Railway. And that is how we get into the Yukon. And it's another great train experience. So again, it's not just transportation. This is the experience of getting into the Yukon. And this is the same train that the prospectors were using back in the 1800s to get out here and find gold. So it's historical. It's a unique way to get out there. And I think it's a highlight for most people.
Yeah. And if you're doing it, if you do the tour first and then coming down that mountainside on that White Pass rail, oh my gosh, it's breathtaking. It's some of the most beautiful scenery. I don't care where on the planet you go. You are not going to see anything more beautiful. I think it's the Valley of Torment you go through there. It's just breathtaking. And so you start your journey on that with the rail and go to Denali, you go to Fairbanks, you do the Discovery riverboat, and then you come down in the Yukon, and then you come back into Skagway, down the side of the mountain on the White Pass rail, and meet your ship there in Skagway. It is just beyond amazing. It's just, folks, you just need to do it. If you haven't already, you just need to do it. What do you just reiterate for us, Ashley? What sets a Holland America apart from the competition? Just reiterate for us.
Yeah, I think what makes Holland America Line the best option for Alaska is the fact that we've been going there longer than it's been a state. I mean, we've been taking people into Alaska for over 75 years. And we do that through the expertise of our Gray Line Alaska partnership, which is our group that's operating our land trips this summer. And it's that being in the destination 24/7, understanding what people have to offer, what unique experiences there for you to be able to go and enjoy, and then being able to set that up so that you can do it in a really easy and seamless way makes a massive difference in how you experience Alaska versus somebody who's only going to be there for a few months out of the year, maybe only knows the most popular things or the most well-known things, and can't really take you off the beaten path like Holland America Line can. And then I would say that the other thing that partners with that is that not only have we been going there longer than anybody else, we have more options to explore Alaska. So we have the most ships there in the summer. We have the most land and sea combinations. There's just more choice for you to pick from so that you're getting the perfect experience and not just settling for what's available.
Perfect. Well, Ashley, anything right now, and any promotions or offers out there that if people, if they book now, they might be able to take advantage of a special offer?
Yeah, this is the best time to book. As we talked about, 2022 demand is just off the charts. And we have awesome offers right now with our Save Now and Cruise Later. You get free beverage package, free dining package, reduced deposit, all of these great benefits that add a tremendous value to your cruise experience. And we know that maybe you're still waiting on your vaccines or for things to change and open up. And so with our Book with Confidence program, you can book all of those great promotions now for 2022. And then if something happens and you can't travel or your plans change, you can cancel up to 30 days before sailing and receive a credit to use on a future sailing. So it gives you that flexibility to go ahead and lock in these offers now because they are the best value you're going to get, but also the flexibility to change your plans if you need to do that.
Excellent. And Ashley, just to sweeten the deal, if anybody books while March is Alaska is our featured destination for March. If anybody books a Holland America cruise tour during the month of March with Dancing Moon Travel, we are going to sweeten the deal we're going to give them one of our famous collectible tote bags and include, we have a wonderful prize we're giving away this month for our drawing. But if people will just mention this broadcast, when they book, we are going to include that tote bag and a pair of the binoculars. So if you don't win them, if you don't win them in the drawing, you'll get them if you book. So, and these are not cheap junk, folks. These are really highly rated binoculars. You know what, Dancing Moon Travel, we don't do junk. So we don't want you to miss anything during your adventure. So we're going to include those binoculars.
Binoculars are a perfect gift for an Alaska cruise. Like, you couldn't get anything more perfect than that.
I kind of agree. Ashley, thank you so much for joining us. We so appreciate when you come on board. We're going to see you again soon. I know we have you on. We're going in April. We're going to have you back again, and so we'll be talking again soon. But you've given the audience so much to think about and so much to ponder, and so many options for booking. Folks, I hope you find your time well spent. We'd like to keep you informed and up to date on what's going on and how to plan your next vacation. So thank you for joining us. Now, you know that we're running this contest here. You don't want to miss out on that. Word for the day. All you have to do is enter this in the comment section, folks. Just put Holland in there and we'll automatically enter you in our drawing for the month of March. And just enter that and you will have your chance to win. And thanks again, Ashley. We're so excited to have you aboard, and we're always excited about Alaska. And folks, just stay tuned next week. You don't want to miss. We're having the Alaska Railroad next week. So join us for that. Thanks, everybody, and hope to see you again next week. Bye now.